All right, anatomy students, we're going to pick up where we left off from the first video lesson. Today we're going to finish up talking about the life processes, and we're going to wrap up with the 11 systems. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we left off yesterday talking about the levels of organization, and we discussed the characteristics that all living things have, metabolism, responsiveness, movement, growth, that kind of stuff. So let's talk a little bit more detail about those characteristics. First, we have metabolism. Metabolism is the sum of all the catabolic, which is breaking down substances, and anabolic, which is the opposite, building up chemical processes that occur in the body. So you hear people all the time talk about their metabolism. When you're younger, your metabolism is higher, which in essence means that you're less efficient at using energy. With the metabolism of a hibernating grizzly bear, I am very, very efficient at using the food that I ingest. My body easily uses what I give it and then stores the rest, which is why I am the size that I am today. Your responsiveness is the body's ability to detect and respond to changes, which may represent an opportunity or a threat. Unimaginable number of things that your body responds to. Most of them you're not even aware of. A lot of the stuff that's going on inside your body, that your subconscious, that the autonomic portion of your nervous system is aware of, is mind-boggling. Your body knows exactly what your water levels are, your blood sugar levels, hormone levels, your internal temperature. It just goes on and on. The pH of your stomach, it just goes. The list can just go on for days. Now, the things that you are aware about usually are your external environments. If you see a large rabid dog coming your way, you're going to respond. If you are an athlete and you see a baseball coming at you, or you're in a race and the person leading the race is just 2 steps in front of you, you're going to respond to that stimulus. Hearing music can bring out a response. Smells, all of that stuff, all put together, that's all responsiveness, and it's your brain and your body is bombarded with stimuli every second of every day. So some examples would be you decrease in body temperature. Your body responds by shivering, constricting blood vessels to keep blood away from the extremities. You respond to sound. Some sounds are pleasing. Some sounds get your attention. Other sounds can put you on alert, depending on what you are hearing. Screeching tires, that always gets somebody's attention. And then you have your nerve, your electrical signals that are sending information out to your body parts, telling you that, my hand is in a flame. Oh, I should move that, those kind of things. And then the brain tells the muscles, move that body part, get it out of that situation. Movement. Now, for animals, for human beings, movement is essential. This is any kind of motion. This is blinking your eyes. This is contracting your diaphragm to breathe, not just running, walking, any of that kind of stuff. Any kind of movement, even tiny subcellular structures. There inside your cells, there are things being moved. Your endoplasmic reticulum is a transport organelle inside your cell, and it's moving things. You have things that are moving in and out of your cells. So it's not just the big body movements that you can see, but it's also the movements that are happening inside your cells. Growth, not only is this dealing with becoming larger, but this also it can also mean healing. You know, you're increasing your cell number when you heal a wound. When we grow, our bones will grow at the ends, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the skeletal system about how we grow. But that's just another example of growth. Differentiation, this is how the cells are going to become different structures in your body. This is still quite nature's mystery, how a ball of nondescript cells floating around in your mother's uterus, how those layers of cells decided, hey, I'm going to become a muscle cell, or I'm going to be a liver cell. You know, how those cellular mechanisms turned on to make those different tissues, to form those different organs, is still a big mystery. But that is one of the amazing things that happens to make your body. Stem cells give rise to cells that undergo differentiation. And if you've ever read anything about stem cell research, that's what they're talking about. And then, of course, there's reproduction, and that is simply making more people, or as the question, how I write it, is propagation of the species, which means making more of our kind so that we may spread across this planet, which we are doing a very good job of doing that. Homeostasis. This is your body's happy place. This is maintaining equilibrium and balance, not just the balance of standing upright or sitting in your chair and not falling onto the floor. That is part of it, but it also talks about your internal environment, keeping a good and happy body temperature. And in today's world, we're taking our temperatures quite a bit, so that we can see if anybody has any COVID-19 symptoms. You know, my wife takes my temperature with that little laser gun thing a good 3 or 4 times a day. And I usually come in, right, you know, they say the average is about 98.6, but again, that's average according to the thermometer at the house. I'm coming in somewhere in the 97s, usually 97.3, 97.7, something like that. But it's always around that same temperature. If things are out of whack, you will. So we'll talk about why you run a fever. Your body fevers because it's trying to cook the virus that's in your body. Many viruses are very, very temperature specific at where they can survive. And that's one of your body's first line of defense, is to fever up and cook the virus, kill it with temperature. That's one of the ways your immune system functions. But there's many other things that go on to maintain homeostasis, you know, insulin levels and other hormones, your water levels, so on and so forth, your vitamin levels, your nutrients, all the stuff that's flowing through your blood and your cardiovascular system, all the stuff the blood is carrying, all factors into your equilibrium. Let's talk about our organ systems. Now, we mentioned earlier that there are 11, so let's go over them. The first system we're going to talk about is the integumentary system, and that is your skin and your hair and your nails all make up the integumentary system. And its job is to help regulate temperature, protect the body. It's the body's first line of defense. And there's a small amount of the excretion of waste that occurs as well. Next is the skeletal system, one of my favorite. This is the bones and the joints, where the joints are where the bones, 2 different bones come together. Your skeletal system will provide protection to underlying organs. It gives the support and the structural framework for your muscles to attach. The muscles move the body, but they can't do it without the leverage that the skeletal system provides. Also in the larger bones, you're going to find marrow, which is where the red blood cells are manufactured. So they do aid in blood cell production. Speaking of the muscular system, that'll be our next one. The muscular system consists of all the skeletal muscles that are attached to, as the name would suggest, the skeleton. And these are the muscles that move our body. There are different kinds of muscle tissue in the body, smooth muscle and cardiac muscle, but they are not considered the muscular system. Cardiac muscle cells are found only in the heart, so that would be a component of the cardiovascular system. And smooth muscle is found in some blood vessels, so they're going to be used in cardiovascular, but it's also primarily found in your organs of digestion, especially the GI tract. Those muscles squeeze to help move food and chyme and fecal matter through those tubes, but not part of the skeletal system. The couple jobs of the skeletal system is they help generate heat. And if you've ever exercised, you have experienced how your muscles will generate heat. The nervous system, this is our control center. This is the CPU of the body. It senses everything that goes on. And we're talking millions and millions of stimuli going through your brain all the time. One of the best analogies I heard on the Discovery Channel was, imagine if you made a phone call and you were able to call everyone that you know, and all of those people called everyone that they know all at the same time. Now imagine the city of New York of about 6 million people, all of those people all calling all of the people they know all at the same time. That's about what your brain processes, the information that your brain will process about every second of every day. So to say that it's an unimaginable amount of data, that's what I'm talking about. It's just your brain is an amazing organ, and it is the main component of the nervous system. The endocrine system, this is the system that secretes is responsible for the secretion and the uptake of hormones. There are a number of glands in the body that secrete hormones, adrenal gland. You have glands that are technically part of the reproductive system, but since they secrete hormones, they are also part of the endocrine system. For the female, those are the ovaries, and for the male, they would be the testicles. So you have your thyroid gland, the hypothalamus gland, the adrenal gland, lots of different glands secreting all kinds of stuff and hormones into your body. That is the endocrine system. Then we have the cardiovascular system, very important system. It is responsible for pumping blood through your body, its component. A lot of times people refer to this as the circulatory system, which is okay, but I prefer the word cardiovascular because the name, if you break the word down, cardio means heart and vascular means the blood vessels. So it's kind of a two-word describer of what the system is made up of. And again, it would be the heart and all of the blood vessels, miles and miles of blood vessels in your body. And again, their job is to carry blood, and that blood will carry oxygen, carbon dioxide, waste, nutrients, hormones, any number of things that if it has to get in somewhere in your body, chances are it's getting there due to the cardiovascular system. And it will also help regulate body temperature. When you are warm, your blood vessels dilate and they let blood get close to the surface to be cooled. And the exact opposite happens when you are cold. Your blood vessels constrict and it keeps blood away from the skin, away from the surface, and helps keep the core of your body warm. The lymphatic/immune system, some texts will separate them, but we keep them together because they do work very closely together. Consists of lymph fluid, lymph nodes, which if you've ever been sick, the doctor feels on your neck. He's feeling your lymph nodes. You have them in your armpits and a couple other different places. And the cells produced by them called lymphocytes. They are and the other associated organs of the immune system, such as tonsils, spleen, and the thymus gland, all work together to help keep us healthy and to fight illness and infection in our body. Their job is to transport fats and proteins through the cardiovascular system. They will also filter blood and protect against disease. Next, we have the respiratory system, very important. This is the system that allows us to extract oxygen from the atmosphere and to be used in our bodies. As we know, we need oxygen to survive, and we get it from the atmosphere, and the respiratory system is the system that allows us to do that. And then conversely, it will expel carbon dioxide out into the atmosphere. That's a waste product of cellular respiration. Now, I'm sure we all remember from biology class the most important chemical reaction in the body, which is cellular respiration. I'm sure we remember that this occurs in the mitochondria, aka the powerhouse of the cell. And this is where glucose, sugar, in the presence of oxygen is broken down to give us ATP, which is the energy molecule for the cell. And the waste products of this chemical reaction is water and CO2. And when we breathe out water in the form of vapor, water vapor. If you've ever exhaled on a cool pane of glass, you've seen the water vapor condense. And then, of course, CO2 is in our breath, and we expel that when we exhale. The digestive system, this is the system that enables us to get chemical energy from food. We break it down in our stomach and then pass it on to the small intestine where it absorbs the nutrients and other chemicals and vitamins from the food and into our bloodstream. And then whatever's left over makes its way to the large intestine, and that is basically marked for elimination from the body. So the digestive system consists of the esophagus, stomach, intestines, accessory digestive glands, such as the saliva glands, and then the other organs, which would be the gallbladder, the pancreas, and the liver, also aid in digestion. The urinary system, this is our system to get rid of nitrogenous waste out of the blood in the form of urine. The organs involved are the kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, and the urethra. And then finally, last system is the reproductive system. And this one is unique because all of the other systems are virtually identical from male to female, but this is where we have to do this system. When we get to this system, we study it twice. We study the male, and then we study the female. And you'll find that in many forms of life, the male reproductive system is nowhere near as complex as the female reproductive system. And we see that mirrored a lot in life, I think. Women are very complex. That's the joke. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend. All right, that's going to get us through the 11 systems. So at this point, we'll wrap things up and head on over to Schoology and answer those questions. All right, that's going to be it for video lesson 2. Head on over to Schoology and take your exit slip, and we'll see you for the next one, lesson 3. Talk to you later.